Peace, peace. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, are we on? I think we on. Okay, so for those of y'all tuning in, I am attempting to do a interview with Freeway Ricky Ross. Now, we just had some technical difficulties with me signing on to his, so now we're trying it the other way with him signing on to mine. So let's see how this one goes. Let's see here. I'm going to have to send him a request. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Go.
Yeah, we got it now.
We good. All right.
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you?
I'm good. You know, just dealing with all of this madness that's going on all around us. They said we got two pandemics going on right now.
We got two what going on?
Pandemics.
Talk about it.
And this racism that they keep putting down on us. Did you see the video last night where these cops pulled over these 5 young black girls? They were going to the beauty salon. I think the oldest was 17, and she was taking her younger sisters to the beauty salon, and the cops pulled them over, thought the car was stolen, and had a 6-year-old laying on the ground. It was, and handcuffed them. It was a sight.
That's
then they apologized after it was all over with. I was so upset with it that
that's nuts. Yeah, I was just watching the video. I guess it's a old video from 2018 that just recently surfaced, but they got a brother in a prison in Pennsylvania, and I guess the they called in the medics because he was having a epileptic seizure. But in the video, there's like 8 cops kind of holding him down, but he's already in a chair, handcuffed, with a bag over his head. Like, I don't know, it's the craziest shit. It's almost like they're taunting people with these videos because they know they know it's an emotional time. They know everybody's charged right now, so it's like, ooh, look at this one from 2017. Look at this one. Oh, if that didn't piss you off, look at this one. It's like they're doing these things to get a rise out of us and just kind of sitting back and pretending to be Black Lives Matter and putting out all these mission statements, but no real policy change happening. Thank you for hiring 2 extra black people that week or something, but it's not a significant enough change. Like, I think the oppression is just too deeply rooted. I don't know if we're ever going to really see the change that we want to see in our lifetime, but hey, we can keep fighting a good fight.
well, that's what we have to do. We have to stand up and be accounted for, and let them know that we ain't gonna take it no more.
That's right.
James Brown, one of my heroes, he said, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And
how about it?
Hey, I love that. That's what I would rather do that too. So we just got to keep standing up, being aware and being conscious of what's going on. So so that we can put a stop to it. We can put an end to it. Because a lot of times, if you don't hear about it, then it didn't bother you. It didn't bother nobody around you. But how your family doing with all this stuff, the coronavirus and so forth?
My family is well. I'm blessed that no one in my immediate circle or any of my close loved ones have been affected by it. I have tons of friends that have relatives or friends of friends, like a 6th degree of separation kind of impact, but no one in my immediate family, thank God. And all I can do is urge people to just be safe and stay clean. There's so many different, I guess, feelings about if it's real or not, or should you mask up or not, and is it a violation of your civil rights to wear a mask? And I just say to those people, hey, at the end of the day, whether you believe in it or not, man, it's a piece of cloth over your faces. That's not the hill to die on,
No. First, they're saying that we only got to do it for a few months if we all participate. So at least prove the science right or wrong. It's just
That's
science.
right.
So, that's what we got to do. What about you? You participate in any protests?
I have not physically been out. Actually, the one protest that they had here in Newark, I was actually out of town. I didn't even find out about it until after I was already on the turnpike. Like, oh my God, this is happening right here in my hometown. And my mayor, Ras Baraka, he's cut from that cloth. He's the son of Amiri Baraka, and he's always been very militant and diligent, just as far as being a mayor of the people and being a community activist, much like his father. So it was great that something like this could take place in Newark, and for Newark to be such a dangerous city that it is, that it was very peaceful. It didn't spiral out of control. It didn't lead to anything that where people got hurt, on either side of the fence. And it was from all accounts, it was a beautiful day. And I'm sorry I missed it. I tried though. On my way back from the turnpike, I had jumped off the turnpike in DC real quick. I was like, let me see what's going on. So 3:00 in the morning, I'm in DC with these out of town plates, and it's just my car with a bunch of military tanks. And I said, you know what? I'm not that thug. I'm getting my ass back on the turnpike. Word.
Hey, you ain't did nothing wrong. You ain't did nothing wrong.
Word.
How did you start rapping?
Oh man, you know what? I've been rapping my whole life for as long as I can remember, but I think the first time I physically said, let me pick up a pen was oh God, I'm about to tell my age now. So like the Roxanne Wars, right?
Yeah.
In my head, Roxanne Shante was my sister. So I called myself writing a rhyme, dissing the real Roxanne for coming at my sister. So I just, all alone, me in my house, in my own island, I inserted myself into the Roxanne Wars. And it's just that's right. That's right. And from that moment, I was always telling myself, like that was just a dream of mine. Like, I want to make a record. I want to be on Yo MTV Raps. And then when I saw Queen Latifah doing it, I think that was really like the oomph that did it for me, because it was like, okay, this sister, wait a minute, she go to Irvington High down the street. Like, this is a girl from my hood. And it motivated me to take it serious and move forward with it. And that's what I did. I was going hard, on the Please Listen to My Demo track ever since.
So the first thing you had to do, you had to see yourself doing
Yes. Yes. Because prior to that, being a young girl from Jersey, it seemed like everything was taking place in New York. New York seemed like outer space. It was like television, like people that I was seeing on TV, on Video Music Box and all of these things. Like, it just looked like a whole nother world. So once I saw a girl, a familiar face from Jersey, on TV, it was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a tangible goal.
Not TV, but killing it on TV.
Right.
She was killing it.
Right on.
So that gave you that extra oomph to get on out.
That put it in my head. That put the battery in my back that this is something that I could do for real. This isn't, this doesn't have to be like a fantasy.
Sound like you was already on it.
I mean, ever since that first rhyme, I never put the pen down. And I think anybody that knows me personally, that knows me from elementary school, from high school, can attest, like, that was a rapping ass little girl, that she. That's, that's what all my parents, friends said. That's what and then even when I run into people like from my childhood, like, you always said you was gonna make a record, because that's what it was. Like, over the years, the terminology has changed. Like, oh, I want to get on. I want to, but back then it was, I want to make a record. So that was my, I was just like this little Energizer bunny. Like, I'm going to make a record. I'm going to make a record. And I've been on it ever since.
What was your biggest influence? The war or what? With Roxanne Shante, was that your biggest influence to get in there? Because it sounds like that's when you inserted yourself. You just inserted yourself into that.
I think my biggest influence, well, for one, I was always a bookworm. I was I was always considered like a little nerd in high school, but I was a cool nerd because I rapped. But I wanted to show people how smart I was, and how fun education was. So I always tried to throw vocabulary words in my rhymes, and I tried to be clever with metaphors and punchlines. Now, as much of this bookworm as I was still listening to the likes of Kool G Rap and guys like that. So, they talking they gangster shit, but I was on my bookworm stuff. So I guess I was, mix it up in a pot, and here I come, the educated gangster. So I'm Dirty Harriet, Harriet Tubman. I was always big on history and Black history, and just kind of following the journey, and really like studying my freedom fighters. Like, I was that girl in high school that would challenge the history teacher, like, we did exist before slavery. So I was like that girl in school. So I wanted to communicate that through my raps, but I was a little street with it, so I threw that up in there too, and it just, I think it just made for a very relatable female from the streets of Newark.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Now, before you got in with Flipmode Squad, what was the name of the group you was in before that?
Man, I can actually count them. I got my feet wet with Flavor Unit. Then I actually was signed to Das Effects. I had a partner named Chia. We were called Twice the Flavor at the time, and we were signed to Das Effects together. Then we ultimately broke up, and I went solo. And then I became a part of my home. I had a home-based crew called the Outsidaz. I was the female in this all-male crew. But in addition to that, I would also do these Lyricist Lounge showcases. And at that time, Lyricist Lounge was this new movement popping up for the quote-unquote backpacker rappers, as we were called at the time. It was myself.
You was carrying backpacks back in the days?
Bahamadia. Well, you know why? I really, literally, I was, because I was always hopping trains from Jersey to be a part of whatever hip hop was going on in New York. So I had my backpack with my $3 turkey and cheese sub from the bodega, and my, my Capri Suns, my composition book, whatever I thought I was going to need to carry me through the night, through my please listen to my demo journey, was in that backpack. And I did that, man. I basically, I just went where the music took me. It ultimately led me to Q-Tip, who was the person that actually signed me first. Before
to get into that, that was my man when I was in jail. We loved We love Tip. You know, I was just going to get in there. Go ahead, tell the story though.
So before there was a Busta Rhymes, before there was a Flip Mode, there was a 8-month pregnant Rah Digga, performing her heart away, and I ended up in a studio session with one of my outsider counterparts, Young Z. He was doing Q-Tip was doing a remix for him, and I just so happened to be in the session. I was pregnant, so I was off in like the non-smoking section. He was in the smoke. Young Z and everybody else was in the smoking section. So I'm in this area. It's just myself and Q-Tip, and we just start chopping it up. And I think I just had a moment where I don't even know what took over me, but something just gave me the spirit to turn to Q-Tip and say, so I got 30 days to get a record deal before I had his baby. And then he turned to me and said, I'll sign you. Oh wait, you know what? Damn. I'm looking at the comments. There's a part of my journey that I actually forgot to mention. In my outsider journey, I was fortunate to link with the Fugees, and we did a song called Cowboys. Myself, Young Z, and Pace One from the Outsidaz teamed up with a young Lauren, a young Clef, a young Praz. Forte ended up on the record, and this song is called Cowboys, and it ended up being on their album The Score, which at the time we had no idea the score was going to, go to the heights that it went. So that I had to mention that, because for one, that was probably the tipping point for Sylvia Rome, who was running Elektra Records at the time, to say to Tip, like, okay, you're bringing this girl to me. That's the girl that was in the song with the Fugees, right? Yep, love her, take it. and just like that, it was on.
How does it make you feel? You just read a comment where one of the people knew more about you than you remember about yourself. Does that make you feel any kind of way, like that people have followed you that closely and care that much about you?
It's a great feeling. I mean, I have people quote lines and rhymes to me that I don't even remember. Like, sometimes I gotta ask my fans to send me the record, because I mean, mind you, like I said, I picked up the pen and I might have been like 9 years old when the Roxanne Wars started, and I've been writing ever since. So I got,
you got
thousands.
You got the word 9.
I got like tens of thousands of collaborations and just things and artists that I've worked with. So I'll forget some of these things, but I'll have, like, every so often somebody will hit me up on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, or even just run into me in the Walgreens, like, yo, that verse you did was such and such when you said, may the Lord strike your left titty. I'm like, damn, I said that. like sometimes you forget, when you're in, when you're in yourself and you're going through your journey, like, sometimes you forget these things, and it's like, damn, I said that. I was raw. Like, some things I be clutching sometimes I be clutching my pearls, like, I ain't say that, did I? But I mean, it's fun, and it's dope to have supporters that, that follow you like that. Like, I look at superstars, and you'll see a Michael Jackson documentary, or you'll see you'll see things and stories about legends, and it's like, damn, I hope somewhere in the world there is a Rah Digga fan standing me like that. I hope there's a person passing out in the audience somewhere. Like, I hope there's somebody standing in line for for 5 hours, you know, trying to bum rush security to get into my show. And when you find those people, it's, you know, it's refreshing. Like, damn, it was not all in vain.
No doubt, no doubt. I totally agree. I mean, when we started the interview, it was a guy got on here and he told me some stuff about myself, and it was just like blew me away. You got in the game at a tough time, man. The man was
Yeah.
kicking ass. I mean, you know, DMX, Redman, Tribe Called Quest. How did you manage to compete in this male-dominated industry, being female? I mean, how was that?
I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I always felt like I could kick these guys' asses. I think I think I think a big part of it is confidence. Like you have to have the confidence. Like if you confident in yourself and your bars, like I never felt intimidated or never felt pressure from being around a bunch of guys. Like I tried to make it my business to put the pressure on them. And I know I did. Like you know, I've had conversations with people over the years of, you know, such a want to do the record with you, right? Or you know, I'll have a producer laugh at me like, yeah, when I told them you was gonna be on the record, they was like, oh, make sure I hear that verse before you put it out, cause don't be having Rah Digga smashing me and you know, just it's always friendly MC competition, but I think I always let it be known, like I'm make no mistake, like I'm not here to be cute. Like I'm like it's gonna get ugly up in here.
I started this as a soldier. You know,
Exactly.
Go in.
I mean, not for nothing, man. I was, you know, I was simultaneously the only female in 2 different all male crews. So I think I just got conditioned to rolling with the guys and keeping up and really just being able to, you know, being able to rock. Like, okay, battle time, let's go. Cypher time, let's go. Freestyle time, let's go. Time to do a song. You know, I made it my business to finish the verse first and you know, breathe down everybody else's throat. Like, what's up? What you got? What you got? So
right.
you know, I think that at some point my reputation just started preceding me and I, you know, I made my presence known. Like I wasn't no suck out here in these studios.
And I can understand that. I know why, because you started jump right into one of the biggest wars that was going on. So if you had the heart to jump in there, you would get into anything. What was your favorite project or song that you did?
Oh man, I got shoot, I got so many.
You just love them
think,
all.
Yeah, you know what? It's like I done did so much stuff that I know at some point I'm gonna probably, when I get off of this, I'm like, damn, I forgot about such and such. But I could say this right now, my favorite Rah Digga record, and it's actually something that I just kind of put out on SoundCloud and iTunes, but it's a record called Storm Coming, produced by Marco Polo, and I'm actually I'm it's kind of like a play on the movie Terminator, and I'm emulating Sarah Connor talking to my future sons in hip hop, and I'm telling them that, you know, this is what the game is about to be. Like it's about to be this, it's about to be that. Hold your head, stand your ground.
Can
You
I get a
know,
little
don't
get a little bar of that? Just what you told us. Give me what you
storm
told us.
coming. Let me see. Well, okay. I got a, so first verse, I'm actually talking to the sons, and the second verse, I'm talking to the daughters, and I say, I don't know how to begin, how to tell you how to win, but I do know it's going to come down to them bars in the end. Some pursued other ventures, some lost their step. We done came a long way from the days of salt and pep. They told me sex sells. I took the red pill. I chose to stay street, let culture prevail. I agreed to the weave and coined the ponytail. Girls nipping and tucking. I said, what the hell? I ain't signed up for that, but to each their own. Said it's easier to market, easier to clone, easier to brainwash little girls at home, easy for the machines to set the tone. Now, some say it's high class, some say it's hoochie, all up in the mags, greased up in a two-piece. First comes the nip slip, then comes the new leaks, then comes the sex tape. If I'm lying, shoot me. I ain't need nothing but a pen and some loose leaf. Speakers on blast, whipping round in that two-seat, jumping out, bam. Showtime, just me and the band. Mike checking in my B-girl stance. Fuck cocaine. Fame is a hell of a drug. How far you gonna go trying to get that buzz? How many you gonna fuck trying to get that plug? In the future, are you still gonna get that love? Is the store covered? It's store. It got remixes and everything. Like, it's all type of shit. I got Chuck D on the outro. I got a
need that
remix
right now. We need that
I
right
mean,
now.
hey, yo, check it. Just in the past few months, like, there's a few songs that I've done, I would say, in the past decade that have really been kind of speaking to the times right now. And with everything that's transpired in recent months, I got motivated to create videos for them, because prior to that, I was just kind of putting them out on SoundCloud, putting them out on iTunes. But once I started seeing, you know, I guess Gen Z really just out here just putting their bodies on the front line, I was like, you know what? Let me give them a little motivation. So I put some visuals to a lot of these songs, and that's on my new YouTube channel, Rah Digga Music. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. But I definitely, you know, I definitely felt like it was important to bring these joints back, because you got 5, 6, 7-year-old records that's speaking to the times right now.
No doubt. And that one is definitely timeless. You know, the time cannot. I gotta plug up, my battery getting low. I didn't plug up today.
I plugged up. Usually I'm the one that whose battery is always dying, but I was like, let me make sure I plug up so I don't cut out of here.
No, man, I'm plugged now, so I should be good. That was definitely too dope. I'm going to that YouTube page. I want to see some of them videos to go with
Thank
that.
you.
You talking right now to what we're going through right now today. I mean,
Right.
amazing. What was it like working with the Flipmode Squad?
Man, those guys, I mean, it was fun. It was interesting in the beginning, because you got like these guys representing every borough of New York. So imagine being in the studio with Queens and Brooklyn and Long Island, and here come Rah Digga from Brick City. So in the beginning, I think we had to find our rhythm, but it happened quick. Always love, you know, real strong family. Like, we spent a lot of time together. We literally spent, I would say, no less than 12 hours a day, 7 days a week in a studio for close to 10 years. So when you're spending that much time around people, you know, you grow a bond, you grow a love. Like, there's just a family element that, whether we're actively making music together or not, it's never going to go away. You know, same with my Jersey crew, the Outsidaz. Like, we literally grew up together, and you know, before any of us had money to buy a car or even catch a cab, we walked around the streets of Essex County looking for rappers to battle. So when you spend that kind of time with someone and play with each other's energy like that, it it just creates something magical. And Busta, probably one of the hardest working artists I know. Like, to this day, that man is still spending those same hours in the studio like it's like it's 1999 all over again.
Well, you know, they usually say the great ones usually work the hardest. They're the first ones, they're the last one to leave. I mean, if you look at all the things when we see people that become great, that's usually the recipe for greatness. And
That's right.
this show is called Looking for Game, so you just dropped some seeds on us right then.
Hey.
How did you start your acting career off? How you went from the music business to acting? How was that? What transpired?
That was something that actually just kind of happened. I think there was like a time where I guess Hollywood might have put two and two together and realized that it might be cool to capitalize off the it rappers or the it singers, the it rappers to cast these celebrities in movies. And I don't know if that was necessarily the goal for them, because I had zero interest in acting. I never had an acting coach. I never attended anybody's drama school. Like, that wasn't on my list of things to do. And I was getting encouraged, and I want to say at the behest of Busta, he was the one that encouraged me, like, yo, you should think about getting into acting. Like, you take direction really well. Like, you have a presence. You have a spirit that I think would translate, would go over really well in acting. I'm like, oh, word, that's what's up. So then I started. So then I started auditioning for things. I set out to audition for Baby Boy, and I did not get that role. But the role I got instead was 13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
I got 13 Ghosts.
What
I
was that?
was totally unprepared for it. I think the movie Carmen that I did with Beyonce and Joy Bryant, that came out before 13 Ghosts, but I filmed 13 Ghosts first. And when it was intimidating at first, because it was like, okay, one day I'm in the studio with Flipmode and Busta Rhymes and all things familiar, to being in a room with Tony Shalhoub, this guy from Monk, Matthew Lillard, the guy from Scream, Shannon Elizabeth, the girl from American Beauty, F. Abraham Murray from Everything. And it was like, okay, I'm here. But I did it. Even when I auditioned, I was so hung. That audition came like right before I was getting on a plane. I was hungover. Like, I had already did the audition for Baby Boy, which I just knew I had it in the bag. And when it was time to audition for 13 Ghosts, I was like hung. I couldn't read the sides. The words was moving on the paper. I'm like, okay, wait, now let me just ad lib it. Let me just wing it. And the director, shout out to Stephen Beck, he saw it and loved it. Was like, yeah, that's our girl right there.
So even though you started out where you didn't like the acting as much, which one do you prefer now, the acting or the rapping?
Well, music is always going to be my firstborn, because I feel like there was an audience that I can directly communicate to through the music. It's the thing that comes most natural and, naturally most comfortable for me. But I did appreciate the challenge of acting, and I would love to do more acting. I would love to, I would like to create. I don't know how much I'm pining to be in front of the camera. I'm actually working on something right now that I'm writing, that I would like to cast others in it. Like, I'm cool with being behind the scenes and being, being the person to pull the strings. Like, if I never see myself act again, I don't think I'm gonna lose any sleep over it. But I definitely want to uh continue to be a part of entertainment, and I think now more than ever is the time for Black voices and Black story and Black culture to be heard and to be seen. So if I can, if I can lend my voice to any of that, I will continue to do so forever.
Sound like you thinking about the producing and directing and writing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because I have ideas. I have ideas for stories and things that may not necessarily, be for me to act it out. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
I'm not so punch drunk on fame that I'm gonna stand in my own way trying to have my hand in everything. Like if I have an idea for a script or a show or something that I think is dope, but it calls for, a young person or, whatever the case may be, I can step back and say, yo, I think this particular character would be great, for such and such, or I think this person has the energy that needs to get, that can translate, that can get this point across better than me. Like I'm fine with, you know, passing the love and being the plug, really. Like it's not always about me. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt. Uh, who's your favorite female rapper right now?
My favorite now. Me? I'm like, what?
Okay.
No, I do. There are a lot of young ladies out here that are, that are for sure dope. I want to shout out a female that I work with closely, Lyric Jones. Very dope female. She's like a triple threat. She can sing, she can rap, and she can play drums. Um, there's I love Azaelia Banks. Everybody in the world, I think, I think everyone in the world, like, thinks she's problematic. But I just love her art. Like sometimes I can separate the person from the art and say, okay, like there is some science behind that madness. Shouts out to Azaelia Banks. I'm a fan of Lady London. I'm a fan of Rapsody. That's little sis. Been, my very first collaboration with Rapsody was, over 10 years ago. So I've been knowing. Um, Oh man, there's definitely a lot of females out there doing their thing. I'm a fan of Rico Nasty, but my favorites are, from my era. My favorite three. Oh, okay. So my holy trinity of the females that influenced me are MC Light, Queen Latifah, and Roxanne Shante. So those are my three, who inspired me. Now, right now, today, August 7th, 2020, if I
Uh-huh.
had to go into battle right now, the three girls that I would go to who I know could pick up their pen right now and go off would be Rage, Bahamadia, and Shauna.
Okay, okay. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
So I do a podcast. Oh, actually, he would kill you if he heard you call it a podcast. It's a United Mean Godcast that I co-host with Lord Shamar, and we just discuss all things. All we discuss all things. Well, actually, let's see. The best way to describe it would be uh political correctness out the window. If anybody's familiar with Lord Jamar or just even brand Nubians, uh, you know what they about, and their conviction has not wavered. So I try to be, pull it down a little bit. I try to be the voice of reason sometimes, play devil's advocate, or just be objective and try to, when we approach certain topics, I like to cover all angles. I like to talk about things in all fairness, and just try to, put myself in other people's shoes, and just to, just to get a overall understanding when we're doing the knowledge. Like, now, when you're doing the knowledge, you can't be, my train of thought and my train of thought only. So I try to see things from all sides, but Lord Jamar from Brand Nubians is Lord Jamar from Brand Nubians, so he gonna let you know what it
Okay.
is, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know what I mean, God Cash. You can we film
Say
on
it.
Thursday.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut
Oh
you
no, I
off.
was gonna say we film weekly on Thursdays. We release snippets of it daily, and then you'll get like a whole show once a week.
Saying that, what do you think about hip hop today?
I think there's pros and cons to it. One of the things that I like and dislike at the same time, I like the fact that there are so many different artists who can just kind of utilize social media and the internet as their platforms to get their, to get their message heard. Like, you don't have to rely on corporate bigwigs to express your art. So I am appreciative that there are more artists that can, that can see the light in that instance. But it's also a double-edged sword, because there's no vetting process now. Now uh anyone can just, like, go buy a mic and download GarageBand and upload it to SoundCloud, and now you're a rapper, and you can buy a bunch of followers and look like you have millions of people following you, and then, until you get to a show and it's only like 10 people in the audience, then who has a real following. But I think I think it's easier and harder. It it does get harder for a lot of the natural born talent to cut through the noise, but it is good that they are able to still reach a certain audience, even if they don't have, the resources that a major artist may have.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Uh, we appreciate you today, and we always ask our guests if they'll leave us with a couple words of wisdom, which you already done that on
Mm.
something a little personal, and even if you did it in a rap, wouldn't be bad either, because we
Well,
like your voice.
hey, I gave you the words of wisdom in a rap, but I will
You
say
did.
this to everyone watching. Um, we are in turbulent times. We are in emotional times. It's sometimes it may be hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. The best thing I can say to people is trust your gut, trust your instinct. Um, Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So if you have a feeling, if you have a spark, uh, the time is now. Don't wait for someone else to give you the green light. Just go for it. I'm seeing so many people, so many artists and friends and loved ones, especially in the music community, passing away left and right. Hey, let's keep it a buck. My generation is approaching their 50s. You got people already in their 50s. So, a lot of us are leaving us. So with that being said, uh live life. Don't be scared to it was all good just a week ago. Right now, we're practically in martial law. So just just live. Just live.
No
No
doubt, no
regrets.
doubt.
Just live.
How can people get in touch with you? Tell them where they can watch your podcast and see all your videos on YouTube, because I'm sure they want to go on there and see it and support you.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram here at The Real Rah Digga. My name is The Real Rah Digga on all social media platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, Rah Digga Music, and my website, Rah Digga Music. That's really the streamline for everything. Anything, any way you want to get at Rah Digga, contact, whether it's through my YouTube, through any of my social media feeds, just keeping up with all of the latest Rah Digga updates. Definitely check my website, Rah Digga Music. There's also merch on there that you could purchase. My movement, Lyrics Matter. I do a master class once a month. I actually haven't done it in the past few months because literally, like the revolution literally started right as I had my second class scheduled. But I do master classes, and you can check my website for the dates and times. And just thank you to everyone that's been following and supporting. I love y'all so much, and I still got them bars. Shouts out to
We
Granddaddy
see,
IU that just dropped the
we see,
album. I'm on a joint with Bumpy Knuckles and Lil Fame. Shouts out to
we see
Fourth
you still got
Disciple.
it. We see you
Word.
still got the lyrics, so keep doing your thing. We're going to keep checking for you. And when you get something new coming out, come back. Let's talk again.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. This was such a surprise when I got the notification from my book. It's like, hey, Freeway Ricky Ross for the interview. I'm like, me? Okay. That's what's fun. Hey, let me ask you, what made you decide to, to get into podcasting?
Well, I got a lot to say, and mainstream media is not going to let me say what I want to say.
Mm,
They only going to pick the people who got the platform right now instead of talking to the people who have been through some of the things that the country's going through right now. I've been through a
right.
lot of the stuff talking about on TV, but they haven't reached out to talk to people, who are on the street. So I say, you know what? I got to get my word out my own way. If these youngsters can get to 30 and 40 million people, maybe I can get to a couple 100,000. So we kicked it off,
That's right.
and I've been having fun doing it. I mean, the way I was getting my message out is I was going from city to city. The way you guys used to
Mm,
tour. I kind of saw how you guys
yeah,
toured, and I started off like that. But now I know I can sit in my living room and touch people all over the world. I have people get on here from Canada, from Australia. It's been like crazy. So I'm falling in love with this thing. I'm like, oh, this thing might be something here. So that's how it
okay.
happened. And I'm loving it.
All
So
right.
they can check
Hey,
me
who
out too.
knows, man? Live. You might be the next. You could be the next Oprah. Live.
Or bigger. I like
Hey,
big
or
things. I
bigger.
like
That's
big.
right.
Thank you
That's
though
right.
for all the words of wisdom. It's been wonderful. You've been a light, in the darkness, and we appreciate it. Keep doing your thing, writing that positive music that we all need. That's uplifting. Thank you so much.
Word. Appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. Love y'all. Peace.